Hello everybody, how you doing? Welcome back to English TV Live, the English TV guide here on YouTube. I'm very happy to have you here. As always, if you're wondering, what is English TV Live? English TV Live is your number one resource for live English lessons. We are live with you every day here on YouTube at 2 p.m. GMT, 1 p.m. GMT, 2 p.m. 1 p.m. GMT, that's correct. 1 p.m. GMT. Got there in the end. Who do we have joining us right now? By the way, in today's video, we're going to take a look at one of the video challenges from one of our members in our private community. If you would like to join that community, head over to EnglishTVLive.com. All right, let's see who is joining us right now. I can see Lolly. How you doing? She says, hello from a French girl. Okay, very nice. Who else do we have here? Hold on a second. Let me just move that out of the way so I can put Lolly's comment there. Who else do we have here? We have Nim. How you doing? We have Sarah. And everybody else watching, thank you so much for joining. So this is the English TV Guide. And in today's video, we are just seeing myself moving the comment around on the screen there. In today's video, we're going to take a look at another video challenge from one of our members. Now, this is something we do every week on the English TV Guide. We invite our members from our private community to enter their own video challenge. And then I will take a look at it, maybe give some feedback, and we'll also look at some useful expressions and maybe vocabulary from the challenge, maybe fix some pronunciation and things like that. But why don't we take a look at today's question then for the video challenge? And it is your best trip. Okay, so the challenge for this week is tell us about your best ever trip. And I'd like you to tell us in the comments as well, when you think back to your traveling, the places you've been, which trip stands out. By the way, just remember that the noun form of travel is trip, right? You take a trip. So which trip is the most memorable for you? The one which sticks out. By the way, hello to Patricia, hello to Helen, and to everybody else. Which trip is the most memorable in your life? Now, as for Aliona, who is the challenger from today, Aliona is one of our members, private members from Russia. I think I'm pronouncing her name correctly. She has fantastic memories from her trips, her several trips to Greece. And myself as well, I have been to Greece, actually only one time, but my trip to Greece really left a big impression on me. If something leaves an impression on you, it is very memorable. You can't forget it. And so when I went to Greece, I've personally been to Athens and Santorini. And for me, Santorini is one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. It really is magnificent. And yeah, the people and the culture and the history of Greece really is amazing. And that's something that Aliona also talks about in her video challenge. But just before we go into that challenge, why don't we take a look at some comments, see if any of you can tell us about some places which are memorable for you, which you've traveled to. Rafaela says, it's easy. London forever. Very nice. Yeah, London is, of course, an amazing city. I'm glad that you enjoy London. Helen says, my best trip is always Disney. Disneyland or Disney World? I already went 3 times and always love it. Actually, I was talking to, that's funny you mentioned that. I was talking the other day to my mother about when the last time that she went to Disneyland in Hong Kong, I believe. And my mother is not very adventurous when it comes to rides. She usually likes to go, I'm actually not too adventurous myself, but she usually goes on, the teacups, the very slow teacups. That's about her limit. Her limit means that's probably the most adventurous she will be. But she didn't know about Space Mountain. She didn't know that Space Mountain is a very crazy, adventurous, fast roller coaster. And so you can imagine, she's not very adventurous with roller coasters, and she went onto Space Mountain almost by accident, and she did not enjoy that. She had a tough time. Let's see who else we have here. Sarah says, I think my best trip will come soon. Very nice. Another Sarah says, my trip to Dubai was splendid. Very nice word there, splendid. Something is splendid. It's fantastic. And Helen says, it was Disney World. Okay. Orlando. Yeah. I went to Disney World one time when I was a little kid, but I don't remember anymore, unfortunately. All right, so that is today's video challenge. Why don't we take a look then at this video challenge? And yeah, without further ado, Aliona, take it away.
Hi, everybody. The topic for today's challenge is holiday making and traveling. Actually, there are two places that I would like to talk that impressed me immensely, that impressed me greatly.
Okay, you would rather say two places that I'd like to talk about. Two places I'd like not to talk about. Okay?
Malta and Greece. Greece is the love of my life. I love everything about it. I believe it's absolutely fantastic country. It is rich in history, it is rich in people, it is rich in traditions, and everyone can find and is sure to find something to his or her liking in Greece. So,
nice expression there, by the way. To find something to your liking means to find something that you like. Very nice expression there.
I visited Greece several times on many occasions. But I would like to tell you about one of the meetings that impressed me really so much. It took place.
I'd rather say one of the experiences, I think. One of the meetings, if you have a meeting, it just sounds a little bit too formal. So maybe one of the experiences or encounters, maybe you could say, or opportunities to meet people, something like that. But meetings just sounds a little bit formal.
So 4 years ago, I went to Cassandra, that is Kalhidiki in northern Greece. I came there by plane, as usual, and it was a...
Okay, you wouldn't say I came there, because you're not there anymore. Well, you always say, I come here. It's to the place where you are at the moment you're speaking. So in this case, you would say, I went there, or even you could say, I got there is a very natural way to say. So I got there.
Early morning flight.
Okay, I got there early in the morning. Yep, from an early morning flight. All right.
So when the plane landed and I finally got to the hotel, it was very early for me to check in. I had to wait about 3 hours for the room, for the keys, and I decided to leave my luggage with the receptionist and take a short walk, not so short, and to see, just to find out what the surroundings were. So I took my camera and started off. Everything was absolutely stunning and breathtaking around. It was just full of colors, magnificent flowers.
Good word there. I think we've talked about this before. You probably know this word already, but breathtaking. So the scenery in this garden, this area was breathtaking, or you could say it took my breath away. It was spectacular. It was breathtaking. Okay.
Fantastic beaches, cozy and absolutely just very picturesque hotels. The scenery was incredible, and so I was absolutely absorbed in these views and in taking pictures when I found a beautiful, fantastic palm tree growing on some meadow. At least it was some kind of lawn, very nicely cut, and is everything around.
Right, yeah, good word there, meadow. Meadow. So maybe you saw I posted some videos and photos from when I was in England. The meadows in England are beautiful, and I'm sure in Greece as well. So meadow is another word for a huge field, a very green area with a lot of grass, etc. Maybe farms, meadow. Okay, so that's a good word. Beautiful meadows. Okay.
It's very nice and pleasant, and just a real feast for the eyes. And
feast for the eyes, that's a very nice expression. We're going to take a look at that after we finish this video.
I was approaching this palm tree when suddenly I noticed a man. He was standing near his car and taking his plastic bags with the shopping from the boot. The boot was open. I greeted the man, said hello. He said hello in return, smiled to me, and I smiled to him. And then suddenly,
you don't smile to somebody, you smile at somebody, all right?
It struck me that probably it was a private territory. So in this case, I was a trespasser. I just felt very awkward, turned red, and asked him if that was the case by any chance. He confirmed my worst thoughts and ideas, and he said that yes, that was not a hotel territory, that was his own private house. I started making apologies, felt very awkward really, but he softened the situation, and he invited me to the house.
I wouldn't really say making apologies, I'd just say I started to apologize. So if you're just joining now, Aliona's talking about this time when she was in a beautiful field, she was exploring, she was taking pictures, and then she suddenly noticed this man, and she realized that she was, actually this happened to me fairly recently in England actually, she realized that she was on private property. Now what's the word again which Aliona used? If you are on private property, which you should not be on, you are trespassing, okay? Trespassing. So Aliona realized she was trespassing, and then she started apologizing. But let's see what happened next.
Called his wife. So they both showed me in. They showed me their house. They mentioned a lot of things about their life and about the house, about their jobs. And then they laid a huge table on the patio, and they invited their friends, they invited their relatives who were present in the house at the time, and we all sat down together. There was Greek coffee, lots of soft drinks, lots of chocolates and biscuits, so whatever they had in the house was there on the table. And we started chatting, and we spoke about Greece, we spoke about Russia, where I am from, and we started talking about our children and their interests and problems and hobbies and stuff like that. So I just came to when 5 hours passed since the minute I entered this house.
Okay, so she said, interesting expression, she said, I came to. Now, if you come to, I don't know if you've heard this one before, you come to, it means you, maybe you were unconscious, and then you wake up again, you come back to consciousness. So in this case, Aliona's saying she realized that time had flown past, right? She realized she spent all this time having a nice time in this gentleman's house. They had been invited in, okay, so he invited her in to meet the family and enjoy some food and talking and tea, I think it was. But, yeah, so you wouldn't say came to. You wouldn't say I came to. In this situation, I came to is more commonly used when you wake up after, literally you wake up after maybe you were unconscious. So you would just say, I suddenly realized, or I suddenly realized that the time had what the time was, something like that. But I wouldn't really use come to in this situation.
So I obviously had to rush to the hotel to be able to check in the day. So I thanked them a lot, and we partied, and I got a very hearty welcome to come more and more to the house, which I actually did, not too often, but I did. And an amazing thing is that we still keep in touch, though this situation happened 4 years ago. And I should say that this sweet greeting from a family to a complete stranger was absolutely outstanding. And
just one thing, I would probably use the present perfect here. So they invited you to come back again and again, and you did. You say, I have, because you can still go back again. And a good expression you could use, I'm not sure if you did use that there, but you took them up on their invitation. So the nice family in Greece, they said, hey, you're welcome back anytime. And then you said, Aliona, you said, oh, thank you so much. And you took them up on their invitation. You took them up on the invitation. Okay, great job.
Definitely, it is something special, and I will remember it till the rest of my days. And I should say that Greece,
I'll remember it for the rest of my days. Okay, for the rest of my days, or you could say till I die. Okay, you could say till the end of my days, because until is to a specific point, but for is the amount of time. So for the rest of my days, I will remember it for the rest of my days.
Is an incredible country. It was not the only case when I was welcomed like that by complete strangers, and I should say that is an unforgettable experience in my life. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you all have a fabulous day. See you.
All right, fantastic job, Aliona. Thank you so much for taking part in this week's video challenge. So in case you're joining right now, the question was, what was your best trip ever? Tell us about your best ever trip. And Aliona told us about the time that she went to Greece and she was greeted, she accidentally trespassed. So trespass is to go into somebody else's property illegally, but it was an accident. So she did that, and then, but the people who owned the property actually were very welcoming, very forgiving. They invited her in to have a nice time with her, and still, until this day, she remains friends with them. So I thought, lovely job, by the way. Not many corrections at all to make. You did a fantastic job, but I thought we'll take a quick look at some of the expressions which she introduced in her video. But before we do, let's just take a look at some comments which are coming in. So we have Rafaela says, lovely story. I agree. Sarah says, great video, Aliona. I loved it. Nim says, I like the way you explain. Very calm and clearly. I agree. I can imagine how much you like this trip, or how much you enjoyed this trip. I'd like to go to Greece one day. Well, Nim, I highly recommend that you visit Greece. It really is an incredible place, definitely. So yeah, keep your comments coming. Why don't we take a look at a few expressions then from her video challenge. The first one, which I'd like to look at, is this one. So, a feast for the eyes. A feast for the eyes. Now, a feast is when you eat a huge meal, right? I know many of our followers in your countries, you have special feasts at certain times of the year. So a feast is when you enjoy a huge meal. But you can imagine, I think you can guess what this means. A feast for the eyes means something that is beautiful to look at. A feast for the eyes. It's just absolutely beautiful. It takes your breath away. A feast for the eyes. For example, the scenery was a feast for the eyes. The scenery was absolutely beautiful. It was a feast for the eyes. See in the comment box below if you can make some example sentences. Let us know about somewhere that was a feast for the eyes. So something that was so beautiful to look at. Maybe a mountain or an ocean or a beach, a park. I don't know what it was in your case. Tell us sunset. Give us an example of something which was a feast for the eyes. Another expression which she used in her video challenge was this one. It struck me. The original meaning of struck is the past tense of strike. Strike means to hit somebody, to strike. But in this case, the definition of it struck me means when you suddenly realize something. So in this case, what was she doing? She was just wandering around the field, taking pictures, enjoying the scenery. It was a feast for the eyes, as she said. And then she saw this gentleman getting out of his car who was looking at her a bit strangely, and it struck her. It struck her. She realized that, oh my goodness, I am trespassing. It struck her. So it struck me. It suddenly struck Aliona that she was trespassing. Again, let us know in the comment box below if you can make an example sentence with it struck me. Just a quick question here. Good question from Sarah. Sarah asks, can we use a feast for the eyes to talk about people? No, I think that sounds a bit weird. I wouldn't use it. I was just thinking about that as well, actually. Feast for the eyes, I would say, is for scenery, not for people. I think it would sound, she is a feast for the eyes, or he is a feast for the eyes. It sounds a little bit weird, in my opinion. I would rather say it's just for scenery. Another Sarah says, Torapson Mountains was a feast for the eyes. Beautiful. Very nice. Okay, let's see. Let's just go on to another expression here, and that is a hearty welcome. So a hearty, if something is very hearty, is very warm, very generous, very kind. So a hearty welcome is when somebody welcomes you. Another way you could say is you're welcomed with open arms. A hearty welcome, or a warm welcome is I'd probably say a warm welcome is actually even more common. So they gave me a hearty welcome, they gave me a warm welcome, a warm reception, and so this family was very friendly and warm, a warm welcome. We were given a hearty welcome by the family, you could say. We were given a warm welcome by the family. And one more expression, which I'm sure many of you know, but it's good to review these things, is keeping in touch or keeping in contact. So to keep in touch is to continue contacting someone. Maybe you don't live in the same city anymore, you don't work at the same place, you don't go to the same school anymore, whatever it happens to be, but you still contact each other. It's very easy to lose touch. The opposite would be to lose touch. And I'm sure many of you have experienced this before. I have as well. You lose touch with somebody, maybe when you live apart from each other, maybe back in the day, you used to spend a lot of time together, but then after some time you lose touch or you drift apart. It's a very sad story. Let us know, though, if this sentence is true for you. So you can say, we still keep in contact after all these years. Do you have people that you still keep in contact? So in the case of this video challenge, Aliona says she still keeps in contact with these people that she met after she accidentally trespassed on their property, but they invited her in. She became friends with them. She partied with them, had a great time, and went back to Greece to visit them several times. Let us know in the comments if that is something which has happened to you. If you have somebody or some people that you still keep in contact with after all these years, or after so many years. That's about it for today's English TV guide, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Let me just see. Sarah says, what's the expression we can use? Same meaning for people. I think you mean a feast for the eyes. Here's one you could use. This is a little bit old-fashioned, but you could say, he or she is a sight for sore eyes. Let me write that down. Okay? A sight for sore eyes. She's or he is a sight for sore eyes. They make your eyes sore because they're so beautiful or handsome. There's other expressions as well that are not coming to mind at the moment, but that's a good one right there. So, that's me. She's a sight for sore eyes. Sarah, so many Sarahs here. This is the Sarah party. My friend traveled to Germany, but we are still in touch. Okay, maybe she didn't travel to Germany, I don't think. I think she probably left for Germany. I don't know your specific situation, but you could say if she moved to Germany, maybe she moved to Germany, she left for Germany, but she's still in touch. Sarah says, like this expression, you're very welcome. And yeah, that's about it. Keep your example sentences coming. We love to see them, of course. Thank you so much for joining the English TV guide today on English TV Live. I will be with you again inside the private community at 3:30 p.m. GMT with the News with Lloyd. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram as well. If I'm not mistaken, we have a vocabulary challenge for you today. So on Instagram, at English TV Live is the place to go. But that's about it for today, everybody. Talk to you tomorrow, as long as there's no power cut again. But that's about it. Have a lovely day wherever you're watching in the world. And I hope to see more video challenges from all of you soon. And great job to Aliona. Okay, everybody. See you next time. Bye-bye.